Hey, what's happening, Roland? Well, today is August the 9th. It's Saturday, and I normally do this What's Happening, Roland on Friday, but I got tied up with some stuff and I didn't get it done, so I'm a day late. But anyway, I'll give you an update of the week, and that's what this whole thing's all about. Going back a couple weeks, I wanted to shout out to Johnny Morris. Now, we think of Johnny Morris as the owner and operator of Bass Pro Shop, and that's certainly one moniker he's got. You also think of Johnny as a great fisherman. You know, he's a good sportsman because I've fished with him on the tournament trail. He's an excellent fisherman. But that his most important attribute in life, and he'll be on his tombstone, and 100 years from now, he'll be remembered for the most important thing, and that is he's the leading conservationist of the United States, of the world. In fact, we talk about Teddy Roosevelt as being a big conservationist, and again, Teddy Roosevelt was a huge conservationist, number one conservationist in the world. He enabled Congress to go in and create all the national parks, for example. But Teddy Roosevelt didn't put his own millions of dollars into the kitty. That's what Johnny's done. He's put an insane amount of money out of his own pocket and out of vast resource and vast pro shop resources in a just tremendous amount of conservation. From the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation to Trout Unlimited to the Wild Turkey Federation, every kind of organization, there's like 30 or 40 organizations he's an active contributor to and on the board of many of them. So he'll be known, and he is known as the number one conservationist of the world. And about 2 weeks ago, he shouted out because what happened was Congress had a proposition of selling off a couple million acres of federal land, putting it in private ownership, putting it into, I don't know, development of different types. And Johnny stepped up to the plate. He contacted all his friends in high places, and they got a big moratorium against in Congress. They got lobbyists going, and boy, in just a couple of weeks, with all the letters that were written, and all the sportsmen that were up in arms about selling off federal land, hey, Johnny got the job done. He was the head instigator of getting that thing squashed, and so we didn't sell that hundreds of millions of acres of land, and so we saved the day. But Johnny's always doing that. That's his big thing. He's my hero. He's absolutely my hero. I named my son Scott after Ray Scott, which is another hero. So I've had two real heroes of my life, and that's Ray Scott and Johnny Morris. Both those guys I do respect. Now, all week I've been working. It's like a tropical depression outside. There's rain every single day. I wanted to do some film work down the Everglades. I got all my little scroungers ready. I'm going to do some pan fishing. I got my bass boat all ready to go. It's just ready to go right now. So in the meantime, I've been fixing up my boat. Now I've really worked on this all week. This is an old '68. It's an old '68 Aquasport that I cut down, put all new flooring in, put all new gas tanks in, put all new rub rails in, a brand new huge trolling motor, a tower, and in the back we have a 150 Mercury. We're working on it right now, getting it ready. And then I've painted it. Look what I've done. I've come in and I've put this sea deck in there. This is a real light blue sea deck, and this is a light blue paint. And I've touched up the paintwork. All this fiberglass and this decking I've done myself. I mean, 100% of it. The tower, of course, I had a guy help weld it, but I designed the tower, and we got the upper station ready to go. Of course, we have trim tabs on it, and we have power poles as well. In the back, you see the normal power poles that go up and down. And on the front, I have this remote control Minn Kota, and I can sit up on the top of the tower, for example, and steer the boat all over the place. Now, I've headed down the Keys. It's just a great boat for tarpon. It's great for the shallow water bonefish flats. It's great for the snook flats in Charlotte Harbor. And in Tampa Bay, that's where you really have a lot of tower boats like this. And it also has the Tommy Hammerhead live well. This live well is just an immense live well. It just has, it'll hold about 100 dozen big pilchards that are good for live bait. Anyway, this is my craft. It's all really set up. It's ready to go. I got a Garmin depth finder on there. It's tricked out. It's got every amenity that you could ever have in a boat. Now, in addition to that, I'm taking other boats like this little 1642. Here's a little tracker that I've had for years, and that's kind of neat. I think I'm going to sell it. I don't know. I've had it down the Everglades. I used to do a deal in the Everglades National Park, and I had the stickers for that. I took it in there a lot. And then it's a real great thing for going through the mangroves, because what you can't do with that bigger boat with the tower, you can't get through the thick mangroves. So sometimes when you go down to the Everglades and go way back into the Shark River mangroves and all those big places around Tarpon Bay and all these really crazy places down the Everglades, you got to have a little bitty boat, because you got to just kind of just go through the mangroves and just actually take a machete sometime and cut your way through logs, and have a saw on the boat in case you get trapped with low water. Sometimes the tide goes out and there's logs across the creek that you can't get over. But you can get this little boat over it. It's not very heavy, and you can get out and push and everything else. Anyway, that's a nice little boat with a 25 on it. I got it all set up with a real nice trolling motor. And this has been a really a special little boat for me. Of course, I still have my other boats. I keep talking about the little Heritage I have, the little 17-foot Heritage, and that's a little boat that was a rendition of that first boat that Johnny tried to sell for 50 years ago on the catalog sales. He came up with the idea for $39.95, $3,995. He was going to sell a 17-foot Heritage boat, a little small bass tracker. Everybody said it was impossible. You can't do that. You can't sell a package boat. Well, he did, and he made it very successful in doing so. Of course, now that same tractor boat came on sale just a couple of years ago for $10,000. And everybody said you can't sell a 17-foot boat with in this case, I think it had a 35 or 40 horsepower motor on it, and it had a trailer, and it had some electronics. You can't do that and make money. Well, I don't think he made any money on the $10,000, but at least he brought it out just to show that you could do it, and he just showed the efficiency of running a catalog service with boat sales. Anyway, Johnny is just a visionary guy. He does so many things that people think are impossible to do. He gets the job done. Okay, over here, well, I'll just talk real quick about going down to the Everglades. And tomorrow, I think the weather's kind of it's stormy, it's rainy and lightning, and the forecast on the phone just looks like nothing but storm all afternoon. So hopefully in the morning, I might be able to get down to the Everglades. And there's an area down around Holiday Park, and we really like that because it's lined with lily pads. It's a pretty nice wide canal. But there's some nice big 6 and 7 and 8 pound largemouth in the sides. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then there's a whole bunch of Mayan cichlids, Oscars, bluegills, and peacock bass. And I'm going to take these little scrounger lures, your little scrounger that I saw with Fish Lucky, and I'm going to take those on a light spinning rod, little bitty small minnow on about this big, and boom, right to the edge of the lily pads. Just count it down. Boom, those cichlids and those Oscars hit on just about every cast. How much time do we have?
8:23.
8:23. I like to do about 8 minutes at the time. Well, I haven't done a whole lot of fishing this week, but I can tell you this. The water's come up now to a little over 12 feet on Lake Okeechobee. And that's a good level, because now you can get the boat into the leads. And now, instead of being less than knee deep, it was about 10.9 a couple weeks ago. Now it's come up a little over a foot. So it's a foot and a quarter deeper. And now it's waist deep or even more on the edge of the reeds. And it gives those big bass a lot more comfort. So now you can get in there early in the morning all along the whole 150 miles of shoreline around Lake Okeechobee, and look for the points of grass and reeds, and throw frogs early in the morning, throw plastic worms like I like that Fish Lucky worm that I've helped design and develop. And boy, you can have a ball catching some nice bass right now at Okeechobee. Headwaters is alive and well, and I tell you, the shiner fishing at Headwaters is great. The other thing that happens at Headwaters that's so neat, at Farm 13 right next to it, the sister lake, there's been so much rain that they've opened those floodgates, and all the water's coming south. The St. Johns River flows north. So all the water coming from the south, coming through Garcia and into Farm 13, is right next to Headwaters. There's a big spillway there, and it's just full of bass, and we catch a ton of fish in that thing. Or we go north with our airboats and stuff, to another system north of headwaters. It's called Three Forks. Real stumpy, real loggy, real shallow. You need an airboat pretty much to transgress that area, but it's full of some big bass. So that's kind of the story right now. If you can avoid the storm and not get hit by lightning. See, my grandfather was hit by lightning. He was killed by lightning. So I've had a phobia against the lightning. And I can remember the biggest bass I ever caught in my life. Just hear the lightning? Boom. That's a bad one. The biggest bass I ever caught out of headwaters, which was 12, 11. I threw a chatterbait, a white chatterbait out there, and all of a sudden a thunderbolt hit, right, bam, right. I saw it. I said, "My heavens, I got to get it going!" And I'm reeling it as fast as I can. It's just skipping on top of the water, and I'm looking around. Golly day, that 12 something hit with about that much rod line off the edge of the rod tip, and I thought it was an alligator. It went push like this. Oh my heavens! It took off, and it was the biggest bass I ever caught out of headwaters. Kind of an accident. But that was in response to that lightning bolt that I'm so afraid of. But anyway, I'm going to try to get down there tomorrow, and I'll give you an update on how those fish are doing down in the Everglades. Hey, in the meantime, hey, hit that likes button, because my sponsors like Bass Pro Shop, Booyah Clean. That's the other thing I've been doing. I've been taking this Booyah, all the Booyah products, and I've been cleaning stuff, cleaning my truck, cleaning my boats, and I have plenty of free time right now because of the weather, and I'm cleaning and getting the boats all ready to go, and I'm getting tip top. So hit that likes button, and we'll see you again soon. And hey, thanks for watching.